All right, everyone look really excited. We just won.
Yeah! We did it! We have rights!
We outlasted the opposition. They're all gone.
They had to pee before we did.
Get in here, DJ.
Speaker likes to be basketball.
So what are we all doing here?
Celebrating.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming today. This is a super exciting day for our campaign. My name is Angela Delara. I'm with Freedom, Massachusetts, the campaign that hopes to pass this bill. We want to thank Speaker Deleo today. We want to thank all of the advocates who have worked so hard to make this happen. We want to thank the lead sponsors of the bill, and we want to thank the chair of the judiciary. We'll have comments from each of you, and then we'll have some time for questions at the end. So would you like to kick it off?
Well, thank you all. Very much. And I have to really thank you for your long time support. Obviously, a measure such as this, to have folks behind you like you have been with us here, really played an integral part. And I can't thank you, each and every one of you, enough. Although I think today, I'd have to say was one of my proudest moments as Speaker of the House. And when Byron talked about a little bit about what are you going to tell your grandson and granddaughter sometime from now, I can think about my 6-month-old granddaughter, the first one and only one I have, and to think about what happened on this day. And you look back at the history of Massachusetts and our legacy in terms of civil rights and what we have done, and you consider the fact that this is just another great moment in our history. And it really makes you so proud to be from Massachusetts. And I can't tell you, especially today, how proud I am to be the Speaker of the House and most importantly, just to be a member of this House of Representatives with the great vote that we had here today. Obviously, this would not have been done, obviously, without the work of people like Leader Rushing, Representative Provost, who filed the legislation. And I'd have to say, the gentleman who I think set the tone for the entire day, once he spoke at the beginning, and you had Provost and Rushing, this is like the Red Sox pitchers. Once he started it off, there wasn't much that could be said afterwards. You know, Chairman John Fernandez was just... Say a couple of words, and I'd have to say that if you heard him yesterday at our Democratic caucus and you heard him today, in all my years here, I think that was one of the finest speeches that I ever heard here. So, Chairman Fernandez. I'm going to try to get him to reconsider leaving, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor of coincidence of time, really, that any of us get the opportunity to take a leadership role in something that is historic. And for me, I came into this chamber taking one of my first votes on the issue of marriage equality. And I get to leave this chamber taking one of my last votes on the issue of extending the protections of non-discrimination to the transgender community. And I think that's a pretty good bookend for me in terms of civil rights. And I'm grateful to the Speaker for his leadership on this. He was unwavering in his support of this throughout this past session and previously. But in this session, unlike might happen with some bills, the Speaker was willing to sit back and wait while we did the research that you heard me talk about today. Because I've learned over my lifetime, we can act on emotion and we can go in the wrong direction. Or we can let emotion get us interested in issues and we can uncover the facts to make sure we make the right decisions. In this case, there was no doubt in my mind at the end of the day that this was the right decision, and I think that was validated by the very large vote we got today in the House. From quarters in some cases we didn't expect, but very grateful to everyone, to you for your advocacy and your patience with us, by the way, your patience with us. We're grateful to that, and to Leader Rushing and to Representative Provost and to a host of other people who have taken the step to show leadership on this. I am grateful for the opportunity to have served with them and to work on this legislation together, so thank you.
For remarks from the lead sponsors of the bill, Leader Rushing.
Thank you very much. I want to just say two things that I think everybody here has heard me say before. First thing is that we, this legislature, did not give trans people, the trans community, their rights. You always had your rights. You had for your rights like we all have our rights because they're human rights and we are human beings. And the other piece of this, of course, is that we cannot do this. This could not be done unless it was demanded. And it's not a bad thing to say we demanded our protection of our rights. And you should all be congratulated for demanding the protection of your rights by this great Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So thank you all.
And I'm so grateful and happy today because as Leader Rushing says and the Speaker said, if you don't have recourse to vindicate your rights, you need sometimes the help of the legislature, and Chairman Fernandez has been marvelous in marshaling the House behind this bill, because we have to take care of the whole family. We have to take care of the whole family, everybody, no exceptions. So I'm glad that we're all here today. feeling included.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mason Dunn. I am an out and proud transgender man. I am the executive director of the Massachusetts Transgender Political Coalition and proud co-chair of the Freedom Massachusetts campaign. And for those who don't know, the Freedom Massachusetts campaign is the bipartisan campaign and coalition of businesses, law enforcement personnel, educators, anti-violence advocates, faith leaders, and so much more who have come out and worked so hard to pass these important protections through the Senate and through the House to where we are today. Today, it goes without saying, this is a long-awaited victory, not just today, but 10 years in the making to pass these protections. It is an important affirmation from our lawmakers that trans people are valued and welcome in our Commonwealth. Not only that, today's the first day of Pride Month. I could think of no better way to start a month dedicated to LGBTQ pride than this with this powerful statement from the legislator and this vote in support of transgender rights today. Like I said, these protections have been 10 years in the making. During that time, hundreds of trans people, including some of the folks behind me today, have come to the State House. They have told their stories, they have been vulnerable, and they have been authentic and sincere in telling their stories to this amazing body. I'm truly humbled, and emotions cannot begin to describe how powerful it is to be a member of this community today, and to be a member of a community that has been working so hard for rights and equal treatment and fairness under law. To the community, I want to say, we've been heard. The legislature has heard our stories, heard our pleas, heard our work, and have passed this through the Senate and House, and that is powerful. I want to take a moment now to do, as much as I can, thank the legislators. You have taken on a huge task, not only here in Massachusetts, but nationally. And you've done an amazing job in pushing through basic human rights for trans people in Massachusetts. I want to particularly thank Speaker Deleo. You have been tireless. Your words our amazing lead sponsors in the legislation on the House side, Representative Byron Rushing and Representative Denise Proto. Without the persistent and powerful leadership of the individuals I just named and so many others in the House, we would not be here today. So if you can take a moment today, tomorrow, this week, to thank the legislators who made this a reality, we would not be here without them. And I want to thank them, lastly, for doing the right thing and being on the right side of history. Your words, your work, they are not falling on deaf ears. And we hear you just as much as you have heard us. So thank you. Today is a triumph for Massachusetts, for our reputation as a leader on equality and as a beacon for freedom for everyone. We look forward to seeing this bill arrive on Governor Baker's desk, and we are eagerly awaiting his signature. It is now time for equality for everyone in Massachusetts. Thank you.
any questions for any of the legislators?
Mr. Speaker, is this bill going to conference committee or is it going to be amended in the branches?
Well, by the way, one other thing I would like to mention, I sincerely want to thank Governor Baker for coming out in support of the House legislation.
Yes.
It is my hope, it would be my wish that we're able to avoid a conference committee. I believe that the governor made it clear that he would sign the House bill. And, you know, obviously, the Senate President and Senator did a marvelous job with their piece of legislation. But I come here as Speaker not to have real victories. Real victories in the sense when someone signs a piece of legislation, not just say it's passed the House and passed the Senate, but never became law. So most importantly, I want to see this become law, and hopefully we can do it the sooner the better. So I'm hopeful that the Senate will follow our lead and have this passed.
Speaker, how concerned are you that the bill could get tweaked just a little bit and then not be passed, not be signed by Governor Baker?
I'm the type who probably won't rest until it's actually signed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been dealing with this issue for a while, and I think that I'm not sure how much room we have relative to maneuver or to change any of the language. So I would prefer that we try to keep it as close as possible, if not in the same spirit that has been passed today in the House.
Mr. Speaker, when did you know that the governor was going to support the House bill? Did you know before?
Yesterday.
When he made it public?
Yes.
So you had no indication before that?
No, I think that, I think the governor was having just a little bit of a difficult time in terms of where he may or may not. And I can understand when he makes the statement that, hey, you're asking me to support a bill and not support a bill. I have to see what the bill says. And you have to think about that, and it does make sense. I think he was always probably in support of the concept. He was just probably concerned about what the final version was going to look like. I can't go into his mind, but he sent off so many different signals in terms of what I consider to be support. I think John, Denise, and Byron and I sort of took those signals, and that's when we came up with the House bill, quite frankly, in terms of what he was concerned about. Some of the additions that we make, I think we included those additions, and because of that, I think we got where we are today.
How did that make today easier? How did it change today's vote, your effort to get this through your House yesterday?
With the governor's support, numerically, I'm going to have to start to think about that, but I'm sure, obviously, that it helped. Obviously, knowing at the end of the day we had his support, I think that was a great help to us. But I would also have to say that, quite frankly, I don't know. I'm not sure if this wasn't a bill about me or the governor or anything like that. I think this was about the people, quite frankly, who were out there, who reached out to their representatives, who reached out to their senators. And this is one of those bills that I think, it may be difficult, maybe uncomfortable, so to speak, in terms of, gee, vote this or vote that, in terms of what type of backlash there may be. But I think this is one of when you reach down deep and you know what, we decided to do what was right. And this is what
Just to clarify, the bill as it stands now, it retains what the governor, the language that the governor liked about the attorney general. Right now,
Yes.
It stays the same.
Yes, yeah, I think any other amendments have been defeated today, right?
Yeah, we can have the sponsors answer more detailed questions about the bill. Thank you, Speaker, for joining us.
Thank you.
coming.